All right, guys, welcome back. Today we are talking about the MDT field stock. That's right. Today's video is going to be mostly me talking over some B-roll about this chassis because ultimately you guys want to see this thing up close and personal and out at the range. So we're going to be taking a look at that. Now, before we jump over, I do want to let you guys know that I did partner with MDT on this build, and I do want to let you know that they did send it over for me to review. Now, I'm not obligated to say anything particular about this. They just wanted to sort of get my opinion on it. But this is the starting point of my MDT downgrade build. That's right, the downgrade build. Now don't get it twisted, this is not a bad product. This is just not my competition setup. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and grab my competition chassis real quick so I can show you guys. So as most of you guys know, I do run the first premier MDT ACC. I love this thing. I have kitted it out. I have the external weights. Right now I do have these bipods on here from MDT that I just have on as a way to prop this up. I don't compete with these anymore. I do use the sled on the front for my F-class build, but I also have the rear weight. I have the elite piece. I do have two items that are on here that are not MDT. That is from Long Shot Precision. That is the bag rider that I have on the back, and I did take that system out, and I only am using this currently because of sort of guidelines and rules from F-class competitions. But I do love this build. I do love that rear system, and as well as the handle, which is made, and let me turn this around, from Long Shot as well, that has this thumb shelf on the front. This is my competition setup. So yes, from this to this, it is a downgrade, but ultimately we're going to take this out to the range. We're going to do some testing on it, and then we're going to do a fun thing when we're done with it. So let's jump over to some of the B-roll. We're going to be showing you some of the range day, and then we'll be back here.
Every day that you have this few people on the range, these people just showed up. I literally had this to myself the whole morning. It's been raining the last couple of days, so it's a little wet and muddy here, but it's not too bad. Set up two targets, one for the bench, one for prone, and we're gonna zero this bad boy in. But all in all, we got a beautiful little day here, ready to go. Let's take the shot.
All right, boys and girls, for this downgrade project, we are tossing aside the MDT ACC and working with the field stock. Now, I know I didn't mention this quite enough through the intro of this project, but we are also working with the Oryx Bipods. Now, for this setup, you can expect to pay around $299 for the field stock and about another $99 for the Oryx Bipods. Now, for 99% of the videos that you've watched on the field stock, I can almost guarantee it's been for two reasons. The first is a light hunting setup. This setup was so much lighter than my competition setup. I almost, when I would pick it up, would jerk it around because I was expecting so much more weight on it. And if that's what you intend to use it for, this is perfect. It's extremely light, it's modular to an extent, and it's perfect for having that ability to switch between any hunter that's out there with you on the hunt. And the second use case for this is almost always as a step up build. That's right, if you went out and you bought that stock setup that has no adjustability to it, and you're looking to make a slight and affordable adjustment to your rig, this is what you would be looking for. This is an outstanding step up model. Now, I know for this use case, and I'm talking about for this downgrade build, I wanted to see, could you take the entry-level stock and entry-level bipods, throw in my competition setup with it, add a few little add-ons to it, and see, can I take it out to the 100-yard? Can I take it out to the 300-yard? And can you compete with it? Oftentimes, when it comes to bench rest and F-class competition shooting, and even rimfire, even PRS, you will see that everybody wants to have the top of the line, but ultimately, can you go out there? Can you do a competition? Can you compete? Can you have fun with these entry level setups? And that's what I really wanted to see. All right, starting with the Oryx bipod legs, we can see here that they are rigid, they're strong, they have stability, and they do have nice deployment, right? They lock in pretty well. They have different heights that you can go to, which is great. So it does allow you the modularity that you would expect from an MDT bipod setup. Now, they are a polymer blend, and that is sort of a blessing and a curse in itself. One, it keeps them super light, which I think ultimately that's sort of the overall functionality and design of this setup as a whole. But on the other side, they're not as rigid, they're not as strong, and so I was a little more careful with them than I would normally be on other setups. But overall, they were great. They got me adjusted where I need to be, and if it was this or having a bag on the front, I would much prefer this setup. All right, let's talk about the field stock now. Now, understand and respect the fact that this is built for the field. This is built to be out on a hunt. So understanding that taking this sort of kit and then trying to apply it to a competition setting isn't exactly apples for apples, but it is a great start for somebody who wants to take that hunting rifle, convert it over, and start taking it out to competitions. And that's what I wanted to see. Could this shoot if you had the best stuff possible in it? Would it deter you? Will it shoot? Can you still be competitive on it? Or is it going to be a detriment to you? Now, the key features of this, it is a solid and secure design. I really like that. I did feel, even though it was light, that it was strong. Now, the big feature for this that most would be looking at, besides the lightweight, is going to be that it is modular, right? That it has the ability to add weights on. It has the ability to adjust the cheek piece. It has the ability to adjust the rear, making it a one-size-fits-all setup, which is key if you want to be able to, let's say, pass this on to another shooter so they can come with you, or just simply upgrading your system for yourself. I thought this was great. Now, for me, I have to have something like this. The way that my body is sort of laid out, I sort of have long limbs, and I really want to be comfortable in the position that I'm in. Everybody knows this in the competition world. You have to have this modularity in your system. Now, for this build, I did add the MDT weights onto it, just to get a little weight on the front end. So when it does shoot, because I am shooting a 6.5 Creedmoor, I didn't want it to jump too much. I also added a rail on the bottom. That way I could test out the other bipod setups I have. That way I could throw it onto my rock vise to work on it. That way I could throw it onto a bipod to get everything lined up. So in that way, everything lined up pretty well. So this system here was ready to go. Took it out to the range. Let's jump over and let's take a look at that. All right, this did take me a little bit of adjustment. Like I said, I'm used to a lot more weight. I'm used to a different base altogether. And so jumping back on bipods, getting used to these Oryx bipods with the field stock was a little bit of an adjustment, as well as having the rear bag and not using my front rest. But all in all, it's going pretty good. I'm gonna tell you guys a bit about what I'm running right now. Starting at the top, I am running the March 8-80 with the Hawkins Precision Tactical single piece mount. I'm running the MK Machining magnifiers, the extreme low profile bubble, as well as the parallax wheel. I have the trigger cam 2.1 on the back of the scope, and I'm running the SG pulse on the front. All of that sitting on top of a Bat Machines action with a Krieger barrel, a Wolf Precision Ace system, the Eric Cortina tuner on the front, and that's all sitting inside of the field stock with a Trigger Tech 2-stage diamond trigger. But the real reason we're here is, how did it shoot? Was putting this system into the field stock with the Oryx bipods viable? So let's take a look at the grouping after zeroing, and you guys can see for yourself.
All right, let's take a look at this. 5 shots, not bad.
So you can see the grouping on this looks pretty good. It's a little more spread out than I normally like, but ultimately I was getting back in the groove of shooting with objects that I don't normally shoot with. So I will say that given that this 5-shot group at 100 yards was pretty good. All of them were touching. They were all in the X, and ultimately for this sort of thing, this is exactly what you want to see. All right, so it shoots. This thing performed pretty well. Now again, this isn't the setup you're gonna go win matches with, but if you want to break in, you want to go out, you want to have some fun, I would highly recommend looking at the Field Stock as an entry-level build. All right, guys, so my final thoughts now. A reminder, my goal with this project was to take this F-Class competition build, downgrade it to the stock from the chassis system, and see, could I still get out there and could I still hit targets? Could I still have accuracy? Did I feel like I was losing a lot from this system, right? Or it could be the perfect entry-level F-Class stock for somebody that is interested in throwing their system into it and going out and competing with it. Now, keep in mind, and I did mention this, you do have to add a couple things onto it in order for it to work right. I did add on this Area 419 rail system at the bottom. I did add on some MDT weights. MDT did send over the bipods as well for me to test out with this setup. And so overall, I thought it was a really great product. Now, I know that most people, the way that they're gonna use this product, they're gonna take the pre-built system they bought off the rack from the gun store, and then they're going to throw that system into this when they want a little bit of more modularity. They want a little more flexibility with what they're doing, right? Because those entry-level ones don't really have any movement at all on them. This system is perfect for that. But I think that this system also competes on its own. I think that it is a great little system. Now, it's not as strong, it's not as robust as you would see with the Premier or the Premier 2 or the Elite or the J. Allen, right? Obviously, those are all really high level entry things. This sits right around $300. Those sit all the way up to almost $2,000. So there is a difference. But this thing right here holds its own. It's a nice little piece, and I'm sort of sad that I slept on stuff like this when I was coming up and building my system, because I always wanted to buy the most expensive thing. I wanted to buy the best thing. What are the pros using, right? But I think I could have got away with using this for PRS. I think I could have got away with using this for bench press or F-Class and just really gone out there and had some fun with this thing, because ultimately at this price point, I think that's what you can get, right? You can start out by building your competition system, and at $300, right? Yes, there is a buy once, cry once mentality in this industry. And I would say for 95% of stuff, that is the truth. You should do that. But this is one of those items that I actually think that you should invest with. The price point is low enough that you can get some good use out of this for a couple years, build up some other things around your system, put some more weights on it, upgrade your bipods, upgrade your action and your barrel and this system here, and this will still hold true. This will still bring you a lot of value. And then when you're finally ready, upgrade to that Premier 2, upgrade to that even Premier, what I run, upgrade to that Elite, right? But for now, I think for F-Class, this is a great little item, right? And I will also think that running it, and I've seen them for rimfire, running them for PRS would be great. And I know that a lot of people really run these for like hunting because they're light, they're mobile, and they are modular, right? So all in all, this stock, I really enjoyed. These bipods were really great. Now, they're not my favorite, and I can sort of show you guys here. I really don't like how there's no middle point. It really comes down like this, And for this here, and I was trying not to do this because it's gonna cut off my face, but for this here, this is great. These are stable enough. There's good movement on them. I really do like this. And you can cant them left and right. Obviously, we talked about that. You know, you move the lever here and you move the lever here and you can cant it, right? But for me, I really like being able to be at this sort of out position here that you can do with some of the other setups that they have for their bipods. Again, these are the entry level bipods that they have. I think that these here are really impactful. I shot for almost 2 years on bipods, and yeah, it didn't win me anything, but I went out there, I had fun. It's what I could afford at the time, and I had a really great time. And I think for other disciplines, this really will stand out. So it's worth giving a look at. It's worth considering. Thank you guys. As always, get out to the range, take the shot. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you next time.